Chapter 8. The Bhagavata said, "Pray, narrate to us elaborately the nectarine exchanges of divine bliss that took place between Sri Mahaprabhu and Sri Ramananda Raya on the banks of the holy river Godavari." Sri Sadguru said, "The shore of the holy Godavari river was reverberating with the chirping sound of myriad birds. There was a thick growth of forest where, under banyan tree, Ramananda, the king of Vidyanagar, met the ascetic saint Gauranga, who was blooming in youth, was effulgent due to his inner spiritual light, was quite poised, and had completely subjugated his senses. The king folded his palms together, bowed, and inquired Gauranga very kindly as follows. The king said, "I have had your darshan due to the result of my previous pious activities. Who are you, moving about like this as a yati? I experience illimitable joy from your darshan." I think it's unlimited joy, but they wrote illimitable joy from your darshan. "I deem you to be verily an incarnation of Lord Vishnu himself." Sri Mahaprabhu replied, "You are an infallible Vaishnava, pure at heart. That is why you consider me, a sannyasi, to be Lord Vishnu himself. With the guileless innocence of a child, I have taken to wearing the garb of a sannyasi. But I do not possess even an iota of detachment or penance needed of a sannyasi. At the instance of Sri Sarvabhauma, I came here to meet you. O king, I am eager to know the secret import of Krishna Bhakti." The king said, "Alas, O Lord, you are a great master. You are exalting me, a dull-witted, humble, and inferior man. This is in fact the noble quality of the great and exemplary men like you. I am not conversant with the secret import of sublime loving devotion to Sri Krishna, who is the very embodiment of divine bliss. Yet, with your blessings, I shall tell you what I know. Pray be seated on the tongue with your mystic power and give expression of lofty secret. Similarly, sit before me and as you are and listen to the exposition." Sri Mahaprabhu said, "What is the way to find happiness for one who is caught in the ocean of samsara, in its abyss of births and deaths ceaselessly?" The king said, evil doings are the reason for sorrow, so one should shun them. One should never give up good conduct. One should follow the duties prescribed by the Vedas and seek the desired results. This alone is the way of happiness." Sri Mahaprabhu said, "O king, you are quite right. Dharma is the only means for the attainment of happiness. One gains residence in Swarga, the heavenly abode, which is the eternal abode of all enjoyments, as a result of his good deeds. When the beneficial effect of men's pious deeds expires, they return to earth. So again they face sufferings. Hence, show me some other road to lasting peace." The king said, "One who follows the established dharma with all sincerity and without regard for the fruit of it, he becomes fortunate and receives the blessing of Sri Jagannatha and gets delivered from the ocean of samsara." Sri Mahaprabhu said, "Sorrow is the result of evil doing. Happiness is the reward for good deeds. The only way to remain unattached to the effect of karma is to look at both grief and happiness with an even eye. That enlightened man who looks with an even eye really finds peace and tranquility. But for those who identify themselves with the physical body, adherence to karma yoga of this sort is impossible. O king, please tell me of some other way to eradicate misery. It should be easy to follow and should yield happiness even to an ignorant man like me." The king said, "Contemplating on that which is the self, Atma, and that which is not, Anatma, helps to cultivate the power of discrimination. Men with discrimination free themselves from evil and worldliness." Sri Mahaprabhu said, "O king, is it true that knowledge is the way to liberation? Knowledge is acquired only by those who are pure at heart, but in Kali Yuga, for the worldly, for those who identify themselves with their bodies and seek to gratify themselves and are subject to emotions like anger, it is very difficult to follow the path of knowledge. Purity of heart is quickly attained by the practice of the Eightfold Yoga, the practice of austerities, visiting places of pilgrimage, taking up vows, doing penance, performing sacrifices, and the study of Vedanta. Sri Mahaprabhu said, charity, divine contemplation, vows, yoga, and the study of Vedanta, all these lead to the supreme good. For one should remain engaged in good actions. One who remains engaged in good actions never stands to lose. But charity extended to an unfit person goes in vain, and in Kali Yuga it is very difficult to find truly deserving persons. The penance of one who does not practice continence is futile. Control of lusty desires is almost impossible in the case of sages too. Practice of yoga is unattainable for the cowardly common men who are incapable of perseverance. Even learned scholars who have gone deep into the Vedanta get swayed by lust. What is the use of mere arguments void of experience? Hence, please analyze all Shastras and tell me some other way to attain purity of heart. The king said, all merits are gained with the blessings of Sri Krishna. He is the God of gods. He is the benefactor of everyone and endows all with everything good. The great Bhagavatas who know the splendid radiance of Krishna Bhakti due to the mercy of Sri Krishna himself effortlessly gain all the pleasures yielded by the four great accomplishments Purusharthas of Dharma, Artha, Kama and Moksha that are attained only by the practice of penance, vows, sacrifices, etc. Sri Mahaprabhu said, O king, when Sri Krishna himself, the consort of Devi Lakshmi, is pleased to bless them, how can these four Purusharthas or any of them remain unattainable for men? But which is the correct way to propitiate Sri Vishnu and invoke his blessings? Pray, you being a consummate scholar, versed in all Shastras, be gracious to tell me that. The king said, Lord Hari is not pleased by yoga or meditation upon the Atma or performance of one's duties alone. He is propitiated only by unserving love and devotion to him. Hence, giving up all other efforts, one should ceaselessly meditate upon Sri Krishna, the eternal benefactor of the devotees, and the cowhead god, Lord Govinda, with unalloyed prem. Ishvara, who enjoys eternal absolute freedom, becomes pleased with those devotees who have totally surrendered unto him and become willingly a slave to the intense love of such devotees. Ishvara, who enjoys eternal absolute freedom, becomes pleased with those devotees who have totally surrendered unto him and becomes willingly a slave to the intense love of such devotees. Sri Mahaprabhu said, O king, nurturing single-minded and unswerving prema bhakti in the heart is extremely difficult even for the devas like Brahma and self-controlled sages. Please instruct me regarding the easy method to develop such prema bhakti. I take great delight in listening to your teachings. The king said, O Deva, Lord, you are Sri Vishnu himself, who is the Lord of eternal prosperity, Devi Lakshmi. Why do you test me like this? I am just a simple child. I tell you all these things because of your presence before me. I am not able to find any way other than the repeatedly chanting of the divine names to gain the Purusharthas of Dharma, Artha, Kama and Moksha in the age of Kali. Only he who is engrossed day and night in the chanting of nectarine names of Sri Hari is able to cultivate unflinching love and devotion to Sri Krishna. Karma Yoga, or performing duties without regard to the fruits thereof, is more valuable than fruitive actions. Jnana Yoga, or the path of knowledge, is much superior to Karma Yoga. The path of loving devotion to Sri Krishna, or Bhakti Yoga, is on the plane higher than Dhyana Yoga or meditation. Among the various dimensions of Bhakti Yoga, the chanting of the divine names of Sri Gopala is the best. There is no other yoga supreme to Nama Kirtan. Kirtan is the ultimate way to attain the Supreme Being. Hence, one should engage in the Kirtan of Sri Krishna. Sri Sadguru said. When the king spoke thus, Sri Gauranga immediately got up from his seat and embraced him with all kindness and joy. The moment Sri Krishna Chaitanya hugged him, the king experienced the highest, supreme divine rapture and lost consciousness. Thus ends chapter 8, entitled Ramananda Samvadam of Shri Vaishnava Samhita, composed by Shri Krishna Premi Swamigal.